In this video, we're going to go over 3 free ways to find motivated sellers. I woke up this morning with a New Year's resolution of making sure that we put out one new long-form piece of content every single week on YouTube. And so I got my lighting, I got my camera, I got my tripod, I had my phone, I had my microphones, I had everything ready for me to really pursue my goal. And after about an hour and 45 minutes of me just doing the setup, I realized that I was almost 2 hours into wasting my time. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to pull down the green screen and I'm going to get my phone and I'm just going to start filming. And so that's what I did. And that's what you're about to watch. So today we're going to cover 3 free ways to find motivated sellers. Now, I used to do a lot of over-the-shoulder videos where I would actually screen share and you would see exactly what it is that I do when I'm prospecting, when I'm doing my lead generation, when I'm looking for both motivated sellers and motivated buyers. And what happened was that the rules changed a little bit, and rightfully so. You know, there's the anti-doxing rule. And when I say doxing, I'm saying D-O-X-I-N-G, which is really designed to protect people's privacy, right? Because when you dox someone, you're sharing their personal residence, you're sharing their address, you're sharing their phone numbers, and whatever other information shows up on the screen when you're trying to find someone. And so I understand why YouTube did that, and it makes complete sense to me. But I did really like the over-the-shoulder videos because it helped explain what it is that we do when we are out there looking for our prospects, right? So in our vault, in our Skool community, we still have all of those videos. They're private, but you have to register to join and it's free. And you can go in there and you can watch all of our over-the-shoulder videos where we go into detail on how we do what we do. So if you'd like to have access to those over-the-shoulder videos, go to our Skool community. You can get there by visiting SKOOL, Skool, with a K, .dispodragons.com, school.dispodragons.com, and you'll have access to all of our over-the-shoulder videos, okay? Also, I have a lot of this content in the written form in a book that I published called Deal Like a Dove, Dispo Like a Dragon, and it's on Amazon. It's 400 pages of no nonsense, no fluff, get it done material so that you know what to do step by step. But it's designed both for the novice, the brand new person, and for the expert that may have hit a little bit of a plateau. So it's important that you know free strategies on how to build this business, because not every month is going to be a home run, right? And so when things get tight, and when you're running low of marketing dollars, you're going to need to know how to go back and regenerate leads for free. So I cover all of that in that book. It's on Amazon. Deal Like a Dove, Dispo Like a Dragon. You can either look it up on Amazon or you can just go to Dove, D-O-V as in Victor, e.dispodragons.com. Dove.dispodragons.com. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's go into the 3 free ways for you to find motivated sellers when you were just getting started. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to go and look for sale by owners, FSBOs. These are the people that are selling their property themselves. They do not want a real estate agent to help them sell the property. Now, why would someone not want a real estate agent to help them sell the property? Well, the first reason is they might have an aversion to agents. In other words, they may have had a negative experience with real estate agents, so they don't want to work with a real estate agent for whatever reason. The second reason is because they may have family members that are in the business, more than one. In my particular state, you know, having a California real estate license is very, very popular, very, very common. There is a lot of licensees in our state, both as agents and as brokers. So it's not uncommon for family members to have multiple people within their family who hold licenses. And so sometimes people don't want to go to their family just because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. They don't want to offend anybody. And it makes sense, right? So they decide, I'm just going to do it myself. I don't need any problems at the Thanksgiving dinner, you know, as we get closer to it. So that's another reason. The final reason that someone might not want to use an agent is because They don't want people coming through the house. They might be embarrassed for whatever reason based on the condition that the home might be in. They don't want to prep the home for sale, so they don't want to do any repairs. They don't want to clean it. They don't want to make sure that it smells good when people come in. They don't want to do all that extra work, so they rather just not use an agent and just sell it themselves. Okay, and then the last reason is they just don't want to pay a commission. That's just the truth. Some people don't feel like realtors should earn a commission for selling their property. Whatever, that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So those are the reasons that people would sell a property for sale by owner. It's your job to go out there and prospect to these people and see if you can make them an offer on their property. Now, where do you find them? Number one, the best website to find for sale by owners is going to be on Zillow. Okay, Zillow is by far the best real estate website out there. There's a reason that it is a $1 billion company. And yes, you can debate all day long that they got there off of the by piggybacking and off of the sweat of real estate agents. And I'm not going to debate that. At the end of the day, they have the best website out there. So you can go onto Zillow and you can filter your search for sale by owners, which means you want to eliminate all the properties that are represented by agents, and you want to eliminate the coming soon. Coming soon is typically a phrase used by people in the real estate business, realtors, to promote a property that is coming soon. So most mom and pops, most private owners aren't going to use that terminology. They're not going to use that language, most of them. So I would avoid the coming soons. And then you're also going to want to avoid the foreclosures and the auction properties, okay? Because the foreclosure and the auction listings, they're not going to provide you with any contact information for the owner. It's going to tell you that it's in foreclosure. It may even tell you that it's an auction, but there's not going to be any contact information for the actual owner. So only filter it out for the for sale by owners. Once you've done that, you can then start to contact the for sale by owners, and you can call them on the phone, and then you can shoot them a text message. A typical conversation is going to go something like this. Hi, John. Hi, Jane. I'm calling about the property at 1234 Mockingbird Lane. I have an interested party. Is it still available? They're probably going to respond with yes, no, or are you an agent? Okay. Believe it or not, the vast majority of calls that they're getting right now are from real estate agents who are trying to list their properties, or from investors who are trying to purchase their property, obviously at a discount, okay? So they'll say, are you a real estate agent? No, I'm not. I'm an interested party. I'm looking to purchase it. And then what they're going to do is they, depending on the person, they are then going to start to sell you on the property, or they are going to try to size you up. Now, here's the thing. When people call for sale by owners, what they tend to do is they then start to sell themselves to the seller about why they should sell the property to them, all right? That's completely backwards. You're the buyer. The seller should be selling the property to you. When you go into a grocery store, when you go into any type of retail store where you're going to be purchasing shoes or a suit or a shirt or a dress or whatever it is that you're going to purchase, you don't sell the salesperson on why they should sell that product to you. You're the buyer. You need to have the same mentality here. It's their job to sell you on the property, and then you make the best offer based on the information that you have. So, are you a real estate agent? No, Mr. or Mr. Seller, I'm an interested party. Is it still available? Yes, fantastic. Okay, what can you tell me about it? And then you wait and listen. Let them sell you on the property. Okay. Now, you're then going to start to ask them questions like, well, talk to me a little bit about the updates. Have you made any recent updates to the property? And then you wait and you hear what they say, and then they'll start to list all of the updates out. One of my favorite questions is, well, John or Jane, listen, if you were to do any additional updates or any additional remodels, what would you do to the property? And you wait and you see what they have to say about that. And sometimes they'll share it and sometimes they won't. And sometimes they'll just say, hey, come over and take a look at it, right? These are the possible the responses that you're going to hear from the for sale by owners, okay? So just be prepared for that. Now, if you're doing this virtually, okay, and they're not in your backyard, and it's not a property that you can go and visit yourself personally, you're going to have to be ready to address that. They're going to ask you, well, when can you come take a look at the property? My typical response is, John or Jane, listen, just as a heads up, I live out of state. I'm considering this as a potential investment property. I'm not there personally, but I do have local boots on the ground. Let me find out what's a good time for me to get them into the property, and then I'll call you back so that I can schedule a time to get them inside. All right. Better to address that at the very beginning as opposed to them coming back and saying, hey, you're not even in the area. What are you going to do? You'd rather nip that in the bud from the very, very beginning. All right. So Zillow is a great place to find for sale by owners. You can also find them on Redfin. And here's what I've noticed. For whatever reason, sometimes people will post things on Redfin as a for sale by owner, and it doesn't automatically migrate over to Zillow, and you won't see them on the same site. A good seller who is smart is going to be posting them on both sites, but there's no guarantee that they're going to do that. So you want to review Redfin as well, because they do have a good list of for sale by owners that you can prospect to. The second place I want you to go is to Facebook Marketplace. I want you to go onto Facebook Marketplace, and I want you to look for all of the properties that are currently for sale. Now, I have to prepare you that a lot of the postings on Facebook Marketplace are from real estate agents that have listings, and they're promoting their listing on Marketplace to try to find a buyer. In many cases, a lot of the postings on Facebook Marketplace aren't even, they're not even the listing agents. They're actually other real estate agents promoting other agents' listings, if that makes sense. So they're promoting listings that aren't even theirs in an attempt to find buyers. They're looking for motivated buyers as well. And there's no shame in that game. They're doing what they're trying to do. They're trying to be productive. I'm not going to knock what they're doing. I have done the exact same thing. So you're promoting properties that they are not personally representing in hopes that they can find a buyer for it. And then the last type of person that is posting properties on there that is not a seller is a wholesaler, an investor that is also trying to sell or assign the rights to the deal that they have in the contract. So you've got agent, you've got the listing agent, you've got a buyer's agent, and you've got wholesalers. And then lastly, you've got the actual sellers that are posting their own properties for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Now, how do you filter it out so that you're only talking to sellers? Well, the challenge is you can't. You're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs. You're going to have to go through a lot of postings. And here's what I would suggest. What I would suggest is Facebook has that automated message. Is it still available? You just press send, press send, press send. You can tell when someone is an agent, especially in the posting description, where if they put a license number on there, it's an agent. There's really no reason for you to necessarily approach them if you're looking for motivated sellers right now. Now, we'll talk about how you can work with those agents in another video, but for now, all we're looking for is for motivated sellers. So if you know that they're a real estate agent and they've posted their license number on the property description, we're going to move on. We're not going to talk to that person. But if there is no actual language that helps you identify them as an agent, then what you're going to do is you're going to send them a message. Is it available? They will then respond. Some won't respond. It doesn't matter. You're just sending out your outbound messages. And so is it available? If they respond, your next question is going to be, are you the owner or are you the agent? Now, what you're doing is you're putting them in a position where they have to respond, right? So they're going to tell you right off the bat if they're the owner or if they're the agent. If they're an agent, they're going to say, I'm an agent. Now, you may get some smart asses that are going to respond with, are you a buyer or who are you, right? What they're doing is they're trying to evade the question. They don't want to answer the question, most likely because they're not the listing agent. And so, they might be a little embarrassed. But either way, look, if they ask you, who are you? You just say, I'm an interested party. That's it, okay? So are you the owner or are you the agent? A good agent's going to respond back and they're going to say, hey, I'm the listing agent. Or they're going to respond back and say, hey, I can help you purchase the property as a buyer's agent. That's a fair answer. That's an honest answer. Now, if they're a wholesaler, they're going to respond back with, I have the equitable rights to the property. They may not use that language, but they'll say something similar to that, like I work with the seller, or I have the property under contract, or they say I'm looking for someone to assign to. They'll be completely honest with you, or they'll just say I'm a wholesaler. It just really, really depends. But the bottom line is you won't know who they are until you actually pose that question, are you the owner or are you the agent? You'll find out who they are really quick. If they are the owner, conversation starts. Now you know you're dealing with the owner, and you're going to go back to the original prospecting. Is there any wiggle room in the price? Have you made any updates to the property? What can you tell me about the property, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And we can share our scripts that we use. We share them in our Skool community. So you're more than welcome to log in. Again, it's free, and you can get those scripts and you can get everything that we use when we're prospecting for sale by owners. So first one's Zillow. Second one's Facebook Marketplace. Third one is the granddaddy of them all. We're talking about Craigslist. Okay. And yes, you still want to check for sale by owners on Craigslist. And the reason that I am suggesting that you check for people on a Craigslist is because there is still a large demographic of people that are promoting their properties and they still use Craigslist. And here's the thing, human beings are creatures of habit. And so there's an older demographic. They're the boomers who don't like switching or necessarily trying new things. They don't want to change their habits. So they've gotten used to using Craigslist. They're going to continue to use Craigslist, and they're going to promote their properties on Craigslist. And I will tell you right now that the boomers are one of the largest demographic of property owners in our nation. And so you don't want to discount who they are. Go to Craigslist. Look for the properties that are for sale. Are you going to find some real estate agents? Sure. Are you going to find a few wholesalers on there? Maybe. But you will have a higher likelihood of finding actual property owners on Craigslist as well. And yes, there's always going to be their share of scams. There's going to be a share of scams on Marketplace. There's going to be their share of scams on Craigslist. You can't get around that. Again, you just have to go through the process of doing as many outbound messages as you possibly can, right? So we've covered Zillow, Redfin, we've covered Facebook Marketplace, and we've already covered Craigslist. Okay, so we've gone over those three. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to master driving for dollars. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times people think that when I say driving for dollars, that I want them driving all over town for 8 hours a day. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I don't want you to do that. I don't even want you doing it 2 hours a day. In fact, all I want you to do is what you normally do during your day, but I want you to take different routes. So instead of taking the same route that you take to work every single day, for the next week, I want you to take a different route every single time so that it doesn't really impact your day that much. If it adds an extra 10 minutes, that's fine. We don't want you adding an extra half hour or 45 minutes. We just want you deviating from your normal route just a little bit so that you can start to see all of the other properties that are in your area that are ugly houses, okay? And you're going to be looking for three key elements, three high-ticket elements, three high-ticket repairs. So we're talking about roofs, we're talking about paint, maybe some landscaping, overgrown landscaping, broken windows. Those are the types of things that you want to see. You want to see more than three or more elements that indicate that the property is in some type of distress. Now, if you see a posting on that property, you already know that that property is in distress. You need to find a way to get a hold of that owner. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to get out of the car. I want you to take a picture of the property. I want you to take a picture of the address. And I want you to actually knock on the door and try to make contact with these people. It's not enough for you to just get the address, skip trace it, and try to call them. They may or may not answer, and you don't even know if the property's occupied or if the property's vacant. You want to try to make contact with them. You want to have some type of human contact with them so that it adds an extra element of relatability, okay? That's going to go much further than you just trying to skip trace and getting a hold of them on the phone. So my recommendation is take a different route. Every time you have to go somewhere to go run an errand, to go get to work, to go pick up the children, take a different route and make sure that you take pictures of all the ugly houses in your area, knock on the door, see if you can make contact with someone. And if you can, try to leave something behind, all right? Go over to FedEx or the Postal Service and get a bunch of their envelopes that they give away for free. Have some type of a letter or a note that you write that you can print out with your contact information, put it in there, and make sure that you drop them off every time you go visit that property or every time you get out of the car to go knock on somebody's door, all right? Make sure that you have something you can leave behind. Make sure that you actually try to make contact with them. And if a neighbor is out, try to talk to the neighbor. Don't be afraid of talking to the neighbor to the left and to the neighbor to the right and say, hey, listen, John or Jane, my name's Paul. I'm an investor. I'm interested in purchasing this property. I know you live right next door. What's the story with it? Have you seen your neighbors? How do I get a hold of them? And then you wait and see what they say. Obviously, there's going to be some people that are going to say, that's none of your business, get off my property. That's just part of what happens. But then there's going to be a few of them that are going to be like, hey, no problem. Why don't you give me your information and I'll make sure I pass it on to them. And you can give them the FedEx package that you have or the UPS package that you've created. Or they'll say, hey, here's their telephone number. Here's their son's number. He's handling the property for them now, right? You don't know what you're going to hear unless you get out of the car and actually talk to somebody and make contact with them, right? So that's my recommendation. the Zillow, Redfin, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and then you're driving for dollars. The last thing that I want you to do as you build this business is to use social media. Use social media to promote the fact that you are now a real estate investor and you are looking for ugly houses to buy. Social media is free and there's too many people that are using it the wrong way. You're consuming content. That is what most people do, is they consume content, or what they're doing is they're sharing a lot of their personal life and a lot of their party life. And what I'm saying is I want you to use social media so that you can now promote the fact that you are an investor looking for ugly houses. So you should be going out there, you should be picking up your phone, and you should be saying something like, hey, it's Paul. Listen, I am looking for ugly houses to buy. If you have a friend or a family member that has a piece of property, they're thinking about selling it, it might be too much work for them, it has too many repairs, give them my number, make sure they get a hold of me. I'd love the opportunity to talk to them. That's it. That's all you got to do. And you need to do it on a daily basis, on a regular basis, so that people hear your message consistently. The thing is, people start and then they don't repeat that message enough for it to have any of an impact. And when I talk to people, one of the things that they tell me is, well, I posted last week and, I don't want people to get turned off by my message, or nobody's contacting me. Well, they're not contacting you because you're not promoting it enough. Remember that it takes someone an average of 7 times for them to hear a message before it actually penetrates their skull and has some type of an impact. You have to repeat your message over and over and over and over again so that way they know to associate ugly houses with you, the real estate investor. Now, have you ever had a friend that has reached out to you, or you see them at the grocery store, or you see them at work and they come up to you and you're like, did you see what I did this past weekend? And you're like, no, I didn't see what you did last weekend. They assume that you saw it because they posted something on social media. That happens to everyone. Most people assume that everyone sees your posts, and the truth is they don't. And in fact, these algorithms, they're going to show a certain amount, a certain number of people, the content that you're putting out there. Well, really what they want you to do is they want you to spend money on advertising dollars so that you could promote it even further. So the truth is, less people see your content than you can possibly imagine, or less people see your content than you can possibly even put out. So you need to be putting out as much content about you, the investor, as possible. If you can do it 1 a day, that would be fantastic. If you can do it 3 times a week, that would be fantastic. But you got to keep doing it over and over and over again. And it's free. It's free. Use it. Use it. Make sure that everyone around you knows that you are a real estate investor. That better show up in your bio so that people can refer other people to you. And here's the deal. If someone makes a referral to you, if a friend, a family member, you're building raving fans. If they refer someone over to you, my recommendation is any referral, even if it doesn't turn into anything, even if it's just a name or a number, is for you to immediately send them a quick $5 Starbucks e-gift card or an Amazon gift card for $5. Who cares? Just send it over to them. You can purchase them electronically now anyway, and just send it as a thank you. Hey, listen, thank you for that referral. I don't know where it's going to go, but here's a quick cup of coffee on me. Use this gift card, and you send it to them through the Starbucks app. $5, no big deal. And you do that. What it does is it conditions them to think like, oh, wow, I got a free cup of coffee from them. No problem. I'll refer them another person. And then you refer them another person. Now, let's say that they refer someone to you, and then it turns into an appointment. You text the person that did the referral and you say, hey, John or Jane, listen, thank you for that referral. I just want you to know I'm going to go take a look at this property this weekend. Okay, you give them an update. You go to the appointment. After the appointment, you make contact, even if it doesn't turn into anything. Now you up the ante. You call John or Jane back and you say, John or Jane, listen, I just finished with the appointment. I just want to say thank you. Now you give them a $10 gift card, right? As you've made progress, you give them a $10 gift card. Thank you. Here's lunch on me at Starbucks. Okay. Then if it actually goes under contract, now it's under contract, you call that person again. You text them again. Thanks. Guess what? I am going to be purchasing the property. I have it under contract. Now you shoot them over a $25 gift card over to Amazon or something like that. You up the ante a little bit more. Every time you make a little bit of progress, you just give them a little bit more in exchange for that referral. What you're doing is you're showing them, number one, appreciation, But number two, you're getting them used to this idea that as long as I keep referring him, he'll or he or she will take care of me. If the deal closes, you take them out to dinner, right? Thank you. You treat that person as important as the seller that is selling you the property. Okay, you make sure that you take them out to dinner, you spend some quality time with them, especially if it culminates into a deal that actually makes you money. All right, so we just covered the 3 different ways for you to get free seller leads, motivated seller leads. We went into Zillow, Redfin, Craigslist. We talked about driving for dollars. And we also went into the referrals and using social media. Those are all free. If you need more tips, hop onto our Skool community at school.dispodragons.com. Now, we're going to continue providing content like this. It's going to be a lot more face-to-face as opposed to the over-the-shoulder content. If you want that over-the-shoulder content, make sure that you register, and it's free. You join our Skool community. Don't forget, you can purchase my book, Deal Like a Dove, Dispo Like a Dragon, on Amazon. And it's no nonsense, no fluff material on how to do everything that I'm talking about here. I poured my heart and soul into that book, and I know that it's going to benefit you, and you're going to excel in this business if you pick it up. I would love feedback on that book. You can provide feedback on Amazon, or you can provide feedback on this YouTube video. Now, if you need additional help, or if you have additional questions, feel free to pose those questions below in the comments. And here's the thing. These videos, as much as I'd like to see that I did this on one take, it actually took me about 2 or 3 takes to get this going. So it's free for you. Here's what I ask in exchange. All I ask in exchange is that you, A, subscribe to the channel so that you can get alerts on all the new content that we're putting out, and B, that you recommend this video to other people. If you know of other people who are struggling as real estate investors, who are struggling as wholesalers, and they need help, refer this video to them, share the link with them, and make sure that they watch it as well. And feel free to invite them to join our Skool community too. Okay, I'm always looking for new ideas for additional video content. So if you have additional ideas, or if you need some direction, feel free to post it in the comments, and I'll make sure that on our next video, we address what you need help with. All right, talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.